Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and welcome into the third ever week of Murder Your Bookie. This is actually episode number 5 because we had 2 preseason episodes, but now we are in episode number 5, the third week of the NFL season. So we are going to be talking about today all of me and Bush's picks, as well as Lucas's, who is obviously not here on the screen, but he may be back for next week, maybe the week after, who knows. But I will continue to bring you guys a guest, so it's not just me talking about my picks every single time. So we're going to be talking about our picks against the spread. Some of our picks are money line. I got even an over-under here, and Lucas even has a nice teaser because he likes to tease you like that. And then we're going to be talking about our locks right there at the end, the picks that we think are going to hit, and so we can beat out Snacks and Animal, those goddamn frauds. So before I get into it and we start talking about the picks, Bush, you can introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Bush from the Fantasy Stock Exchange. Go check us out on YouTube. We are just approaching 2,000 subscribers. Got daily fantasy content, not quite as daily as Nick here. He pumps out a little bit more than we do, but nonetheless, we're still pumping out content. Excited to be here.
For sure. So we are going to start off here. Make sure you guys check out Bush. He's been on a couple of my videos on my channel from the offseason, so make sure you check him out on Twitter, as well as Twitter is going to be on your screen right now. So make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button if you guys do end up enjoying this video. So we're going to begin here with Lucas's pick, who's not even here, but his first pick we're going to be talking about here is the Chiefs over the Rams, plus 3.5. What are you thinking here about the Chiefs beating the Rams plus 3.5? And he has money line as well, so we'll talk about both of them, I guess. I think that the Chiefs are going to have a good game up against the Ravens. I might have said Rams. I just don't feel like the Ravens are going to be able to compete with the Chiefs. Now, I understand it's the regular season. If this was the postseason, I would say the Ravens have zero chance, probably, if this was the postseason. But during the regular season, obviously, anything is possible. But I just feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are too good to lose to Mr. Lamar Jackson. So what do you think here about the Chiefs beating the Ravens?
Yeah, so I have a completely differing opinion. I actually have money down on the Ravens -3 because I think if you look at the 4 units on the field, the Ravens offense, Ravens defense, Chiefs offense, Chiefs defense, the Chiefs defense is the worst unit of those 4 units. So, I mean, I just think the Ravens are playing better right now. Maybe the Chiefs are the better team later in the season, which is why I think this game should be like week 15. I don't know why it's during week 3, but I think the Ravens have the edge as of right now because I think the Chiefs are still figuring out some stuff. Like, this is still the same team that scored, 9 points in midway through the third quarter against the Chargers. I mean, the Ravens defense is just as good as the Chargers defense is.
Yeah, that could be true. I don't know. I just feel like Andy Reid's always awake during prime time. He's fired up to go. He's got that visor on that now he used like some hockey-like technology so that it doesn't fog up. So I think he's ready to go, but I don't know. I definitely wouldn't put this as a lock because I don't feel as confident in it as I did like a week ago when I was thinking about it initially.
Yeah. According to PFF, the Chiefs are the 8th worst run defense in the NFL too, and that's not going to bode well when you're playing against the Ravens because they're just going to run all over you with Lamar and Ingram and Dobbins, and Gus Edwards will probably run for 15 carries because fantasy.
Yeah, probably, honestly. So then we're going to move on to my game here. I got the first pick here to talk about here. I got the 49ers to beat the Giants money line, -195. Now, this pick to me is kind of dependent. I mean, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play. I don't think George Kittle is going to play, but I don't think that's going to matter at all, in my opinion. I just don't think the Giants are very good. I don't think the Giants are just going to be ready to beat the 49ers regardless of who is healthy on the team. The whole defense of the 49ers has been deleted. They have no one really there, or they still have people there, but obviously the big guys there that you're looking for to be great on defense are fucking hurt. So now it's just going to be Nick Mullins versus the Giants defense, and then will Daniel Jones be able to crawl them back into this game? I didn't take the spread because I felt the spread was a little too high. I think it was -4.5, -5.5, something like that. So I wasn't feeling ultra confident in that for the 49ers to cover. So I went with just the money line, -195, Niners over the Giants. What are you thinking about that right there?
Let's segue into one of my picks because one of my picks is the complete opposite of what you just said. Giants over Niners, money line. Again, I'm going to go back to like kind of matchup theory here. And if Nick Mullins is the quarterback, even if Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback, I don't really care. The 49ers have no pass catching options. Like they just don't. And that's how you beat the Giants. You don't beat the Giants running the ball. They're the 3rd best run defense in the NFL, according to PFF. And I think the only way the Niners could win this game with Nick Mullins and without it. Like maybe George Kittle plays. Apparently he's like questionable or whatever. But I think the only way they could win this is with Jerick McKinnon, Jeff Wilson, whoever else they're going to run the ball with up the middle. And the Giants are just not susceptible to that. And I think Daniel Jones has an easier time because this defense once like when it's healthy is very good, but right at the state it's at now, it's not nearly as good as the defenses that Daniel Jones has played the last 2 weeks in the Steelers and Bears.
Okay. I'm just confused how they're ranked that high because didn't Benny Snell run for 100 yards against the Giants defense?
I mean, it's not necessarily stats based. It's all like their collective grades.
Yeah,
for PFF,
no, I understand.
the guys on their run defense. So I guess the run defense is maybe better than the statistics say they are, according to PFF. So they've been pretty good with run defense, PFF. That's why I kind of trust them with this kind of stuff. There's certain things I don't trust them with, like quarterback play, for example, but run defense and offensive line stuff I usually trust them for.
Mm-hmm. All right, that makes sense. What was the I wish I knew what the line was because I feel like if you were going to take the Giants, you could just easily take the
believe it's plus. When I was looking at it, I believe it was +4.
+4. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I was going to take the Giants, I would just take the +4 there.
The reason I'm going to take, like, I'll get into why these picks, like, I'm actually going to put some money down on them, the 3 or the 4 that I have, and I parlay them all with $25. And the reason I put the Giants straight up winning is, one, I don't think it's too much of a difference than +4. I think they can win this game pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And 2, it's just way more money in the parlay. That's why I picked the money line instead of +4.
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Got to get that money. So,
yeah, it's like +190, I think, the money line.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue here. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. The Giants just don't seem to be waking up on Sunday ready to win, in my opinion. So next game here we're going to be talking about here is Lucas's pick, which just so happens to also be my pick. Titans over the Vikings -2.5, which is also something we'll be talking about later. But the reason why I like this pick is because I think that the Titans just roll the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are any good, in my opinion. I really think Kirk Cousins is going to have a struggle bus trying to get away from this Titans defense. I think the Titans are very good, and I just don't think that the Vikings are going. Maybe they bounce back, right? Maybe they do, and maybe they end up winning this game. That wouldn't really surprise me, but I just think that the Titans are too strong. I think that Derrick Henry is going to be pissed off that he didn't play super well up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who normally on a career basis, he destroys the Jaguars. So I think that against the Vikings, he'll be up, he'll be fired up, he'll be ready to go. -2.5. I like the Titans, especially considering Kirk Cousins played atrocious last week, and that may just be completely in his head now because Kirk Cousins just isn't all that good normally. Now with him getting safetied, him getting absolutely eviscerated last week, he scored like -5 fantasy points. So I just don't think he's going to be fired up. If he dies, he dies, and I think he died last week, and that might just be in his head completely this week.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. I think the Vikings, according to PFF, again, they have the second worst total defense in the league, according to PFF, at like a 38.9 grade. Like their defense is too talented to be as bad as it is right now with the 2 safeties they have and Eric Kendricks and Yannick Ngakoue up front. They're just playing like shit, and the offense isn't doing them any favors either. Kirk Cousins is turning the ball over 3 times last week and just like overall just playing like crap. So I think the Titans pretty easily handle this one. The one thing I do worry about is that it just feels a little narrative-y, the Vikings being terrible, and then I can just see them being the team that everyone expected them to be this coming week, and then everyone's like, oh, fuck, like, I guess the Vikings aren't as bad as we thought they are. But I still think, even if that is the case, I think if the Vikings were who we thought they were coming into the season, I still would lean Titans in this game, so I'll stick with you on the -2.5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, last week the Titans didn't look like who you would perceive the Titans to be, right? Tannehill threw 4 touchdowns last week, so that's not what you expect. The Titans, you expect them to just run the ball a million times, so who knows? So next pick here we are going to be talking about is going to be my pick again, even though we kind of just touched on my pick and Lucas's pick together. We're going to go with the Eagles to beat the Bengals money line -185. Now, I understand that the Eagles are just not looking good at all. They have been destroyed 2 weeks in a row. Carson Wentz looks like a shell of himself. He does not look good at all, in my opinion. But I feel like these hungry dogs, they're going to run faster, right? Both these teams are 0-2, so maybe they're both running super fast, and maybe the Bengals win. But -185 for the Eagles. I'll take them here. They have to win one game, right? You would think. You wouldn't think they'd be atrocious. So this is where they wake up. They beat the Bengals. They eat the Tigers and Joe Burrow on Sunday. But My only worry about this is the fact that Carson Wentz might also have just done some mental gymnastics and is so far in his own head right now that he's not going to be any good, and Joe Burrow just lights up the Eagles' defense, even though the Eagles' defense is okay. So what do you think about the Eagles beating the Bengals here?
I think it's probably going to happen. I think the way I look at this game is I don't like to bet games where I don't know who either team is. Like, because I honestly don't have an identity kind of in my head for the Eagles. But I think the best matchup on the field is in favor of the Eagles. The Bengals' run defense against Miles Sanders is not going to end well. I think like Miles Sanders, we're going to have our DFS show going up Saturday morning, and Miles Sanders will be my lock of the week because Miles Sanders should have an absolute field day in this one.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I just think that the Bengals their defense just sucks, to be honest with you. Like, even what you were talking about before, we saw Baker Mayfield look like the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, or I don't know, Steve Young or something. He was just balling out against them. And then in reality, Baker Mayfield just isn't that guy. He's not the guy from the commercials you see every single second on TV. So I like the Eagles there, and I think that this one might get out of hand, if I'm being honest with you. I think the Eagles might win handily. I don't think that if the Bengals were to win, I think this would be a blowout in the Bengals way as well. I don't think it would be even a close game. So I like the Eagles here, money line minus 185. What is your next pick here, Bushy boy?
Yeah. Just quickly on that game, I honestly don't have any idea how it's going to go. I do think the Eagles are the favorite, though. That's what I mean with I don't say I have no idea who these teams are. So I could see it going a number of different ways. The Eagles killing them, the Bengals killing them, the Bengals keeping it close. I have no idea which way it's going to go. So the next pick I have here is the Rams over the Bills money line. The reason I have this, it's actually a very close line. I believe it's like minus 1.5 in favor of the Rams or something like that. When I looked at it, the Rams to me give Josh Allen something that he hasn't seen so far this year, and that's a good pass rush. Because he's been up against the Dolphins and the Jets so far this year, and neither of which have a good pass rush, and just a good defense overall. To be honest, the Rams defense is actually playing really well so far this season. They pretty much shut out the Cowboys passing attack, which is one of the best in the league. And I think Josh Allen, everyone's got this, and it's a little bit of an anti-narrative pick too, because everyone's got this narrative in their head that Josh Allen's taken this huge step and he's ready to break out. But the reality is he's still Josh Allen. He's still fumbled 3 or 4 times this season. And I think the Rams are able to capitalize on that. I'm not sure the Bills defense allows much to the Rams in terms of offense, but I think it's like a turnover differential type game where Josh Allen has a couple turnovers, and that's the difference in the game for the Rams.
Yeah, the thing with this one is I was looking at this and I kind of wanted to take the Bills, and then I was thinking more. I was like, I don't know. I really don't know who would win this game. These are two teams that look very good right now. The Rams are a team I did not expect to start off the season 2-0. Now, it's not necessarily that they had a hard schedule or something, but I just thought, hey, you know what? They're probably not going to look that good.
Last year, two good teams, Cowboys and Eagles, first 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, they do. I'm just saying this is a very tough matchup for them against the Bills. The Bills defense did look very good. Again, they're playing the Dolphins. They're playing the Jets. Anyone could look good up against the New York Football Jets. But I think that this one is going to be a close one. I really have no lean on this game. I personally would not bet it. It's kind of like how we were just talking about before about my bet, how you don't really like it because you don't really feel any type of way about it. So that's how I feel really about this game. I do think at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills win just because I like Josh Allen, but I would not be surprised if the Rams edge them out here. And I think that the best pick is definitely money line here because I don't think the odds would even help you at all because you're just losing points if you bet the Rams.
Yeah, pretty much. 1.5 points. It's there's no difference. I feel like you just it's just a pick 'em game. And to me, the Rams just provide the more likely outcome from what we've seen so far in Josh Allen's career is that he's going to struggle against a good defense. And I think that's probably what's going to happen in this game.
Alrighty, so we got a couple more picks here, then we're going to be talking about our locks. So I'm going to be talking about Lucas's 6-point teaser here. He's teasing the game up 6 points. He loves to tease. His name is Bobby Sylvester. So Chiefs at the Ravens, or Chiefs over the Ravens, plus 9.5 now. So I feel like that is a little more obtainable. I know we talked about before how you like the Ravens. Lucas likes the Chiefs. Chiefs plus 9.5 here. And then the Packers over the Saints plus 9. Now, we have not talked about the Packers game, so we'll go a little more in depth in this. Now, the real question is, does Drew Brees bounce back and just slap the Packers, or is it a close game, which is kind of more of what I see it as? It just feels like I don't know. It just feels like Drew Brees can't do anything without Michael Thomas. Now, I'm not saying Drew Brees is a fraudulent like his whole career because he's not. I'm just talking about right now this season. I just don't think he's going to be as good without Michael Thomas. I just feel like his arm strength is not there to look deep down the field, and the receivers there just aren't as good. Obviously, Emmanuel Sanders clearly just not that good or just wasn't getting open at all. I didn't watch like the all 22 or something to figure out how open Emmanuel Sanders was because he was just not involved at all in that game. I feel like the way that the Saints would win this game is if Alvin Kamara just completely carries the team and then Jared Cook scores like 2 touchdowns because he's just wide open in the end zone like he always is. So what do you think here? Packers over the Saints +9.
Yeah, give me the Packers. I think the Packers are the better team. From what we've seen from the Packers so far, they're a complete team. That's why I say that. The Saints look like they're finding themselves on offense a little bit. Like, it's one thing to have a bad game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Go Bucs, because I think the Bucs are a very good defense this year. But the Raiders defense sucks. Like, the fact that they didn't torch the Raiders defense worries me for the Saints offense and Drew Brees specifically. I think as you mentioned, if they do win this game, it's because of Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray on the ground, because Drew Brees just clearly is not playing like Drew Brees. And I think the Packers defense is pretty good. It's not as good as the Saints defense, I would say, but it's pretty good. And I think the Packers offense is a lot more like on track with Aaron Jones playing the way he's playing and Aaron Rodgers on his little revenge tour that he's on. I think Devontae Adams playing in this game is probably going to be a big deal because apparently he's either questionable or like limited in this game. I think his presence on the field is a big deal. Even if he's out there, I trust the Packers to take this one home.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about Devontae Adams because it seems like there was really no concern like right after he got hurt, right? The reports are, oh, he'll be fine. He'll be good to go week 3. And now they're more concerned about it. So I don't know. You guys are watching this on Saturday, one day after we record this. So maybe you know completely if Devontae Adams is going to play or not. Maybe you won't know until Sunday. But with that said, I still think the Packers would win regardless of Devontae Adams being there. +9 is definitely pretty good. So my next pick here, I got the Jumbo Jets at the Indianapolis Colts under 44.5. Now, I don't know. I mean, like, the line on this game is absolutely insane. You can get the Jets +11.5, but I don't even know if I trust the Jets to cover the spread. I don't even know if I trust the Jets to score, if I'm being completely honest with you, in this game. The Jets are so fucking awful. It's embarrassing. I don't know how you can call yourself a New York Football Jets fan. I know you're not, but a lot of my friends are. My own dad is a Jets fan, and he does not like it at all. So Jets at Colts under 44.5. I feel like this is going to be not even a snooze fest, but just like Jonathan Taylor plowing over the Jets defense.
I think it's going to be a snooze fest.
Could be. I don't think
the Colts offense is all that exciting either, to be honest. Like, Phillip Rivers looks like he's fucking washed up. The New York Jets offense has got the Patriots rejects as their number 1 receivers. Like Chris Hogan and Braxton Berrios were cut from the Patriots preseason a year ago. So like they're the best receivers on the team. They don't want to use Chris Herndon, who's clearly their best pass catcher right now. They're leaving him in line to block. Like, the only good thing about the Jets offense is the fact that your first round pick is playing well. Like, that's literally the only good thing about the Jets offense is the fact that Mekhi Becton is looking like the tackle he was built to be.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The Jets are so bad. And, like, the Colts, like, if they're just running the ball, the game's going to end so fast. If Jonathan Taylor's just running the ball and maybe the Colts just score 14 points. They could score literally probably 32 points and the under could still hit because I just don't believe the Jets are going to score anything until maybe garbage time when Sam Darnold. That pass last week was amazing, though, that Sam Darnold makes, and I hate the guy. That was a good pass, but I mean, it was a little too late for him. So I like the Jets at Colts here, under 44.5. This one, to me, if I could put an under or an over as a lock, this would be my lock because I don't see any way this goes anywhere near 44.5. So what's your next pick here since you put it
just quickly on that game? Sam Darnold coming out of school was a way better prospect than Josh Allen. I believe if Sam Darnold was drafted by the Bills, he might be on the cover of Madden right now. Like, I actually think, like, the situation he has been in his whole career is the worst situation a quarterback has ever been in, including Josh Rosen. Like, I think Sam Darnold has absolutely zero chance of success. So if you're a New York Jets fan, you want Adam Gase out of there as soon as possible because Darnold probably is still salvageable. He's still like 22, 23 years old. Like, they need to get him some. I think Joe Douglas, the GM that they have in place there, is a good GM. They need to get Gase out of there, get a coach in that knows what Sam Darnold is good at and can bring in pieces to facilitate that. Because what Gase is doing there is just fucking despicable. Anyway,
I know.
next game that I have on my picks here, and this one is probably one of the ones I feel most confident about, and that's Tampa Bay -6.5 over the Denver Broncos with quarterback Jeff Driscoll, no Cortland Sutton, no Von Miller. Like, the Denver Broncos are just decimated. The Bucs were a better team than the Broncos if they were healthy, and let alone the fact that they are missing their best receiver, they're missing their quarterback, they're missing their best pass rusher, they're missing their best corner. Like, the Broncos are just completely decimated by injury, and I think the big matchup in this game, as I just mentioned, they're missing AJ Boye. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, there's no one that can hang with them. Michael Ojemudia is not hanging with Mike Evans. I think it's Isang Bassi is their like nickel corner right now. Like, Chris Godwin's going to absolutely wipe the floor with him. I think the Bucs run away with this one early. Like, in the first 2 quarters, they put up like 30 points or some shit. And then it's just a heavy dose of Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones for the rest of the game. And they just kind of end this one early.
Yeah, I took this at -6 on DraftKings. I got it earlier in the week.
I got it at -6 as well, but when I was filling in this sheet, it was at -6.5.
Okay, and now I'd still take it at -6.5. Tampa Bay is just going to murder the fucking Denver Broncos. Who's going to be the quarterback? I hope it's Blake Bortles, because if Blake Bortles
I don't think he can be. He got into, because you have to pass like COVID protocols and stuff when you first get signed by a team. So I'd imagine he's probably not even going to be in the building until like today or tomorrow.
Well, that's tough, because I wanted to see him beat Tom Brady, because that's just what Blake Bortles does, because he's a GOAT like that. So I don't know. I like Tampa Bay here, -6.5. Seems kind of safe. I mean, the Denver is just too beat up. They don't have Cortland Sutton. They don't have Drew Lock. Like, any chance that they would cover this game is just completely gone by the fact that no one's there. They don't have Philip Lindsay as well. Obviously, not like huge piece of their offense, but in my opinion, I think Philip Lindsay's pretty good in this offense, and it makes it so that Melvin Gordon doesn't have to touch the ball 7 zillion times. And so I don't know. I would just go ahead and believe that the Buccaneers wipe the floor with them here. Like you said, all the wide receivers are healthy now. Seems like Chris Godwin is going to play, which is very good for Tampa Bay, because they were missing out on Chris Godwin last week. So I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here to beat the Denver Broncos as well, -6.5. So you give one your more pick here, because you have another one, and then we'll talk about our locks.
Yeah, I literally added this midway through us recording, because I meant to put it on here, and it is part of the parlay that I have. And that's I should say Falcons over Bears. Falcons over Bears, -3.5. The reason I have that is, again, a lot of matchup based things. I don't think the way that Jalen Johnson for the Bears, the rookie corner that they have, is playing is well and good, but Calvin Ridley's playing out of his mind. And Julio Jones is going to get back on track in this game. Russell Gage is looking like a breakout star. I just don't think the Bears have the pieces on defense on the back end to hang with the Falcons' pass attack. I think it was Hayden Winks of RotoWorld tweeted out that the Bears have been a very run funnel or a pass funnel defense so far this season, because with Akeem Hicks and Khalil Mack and stuff up the middle, you just can't run on them. And the Falcons can't run because they have Todd Gurley. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think they're just going to throw the ball all over the yard, because the Bears have a couple weak links in their secondary. And I think the Falcons passing attack can expose that. And as far as the other side of the ball, like, Mitch Trubisky will probably have a decent game, but I trust Matt Ryan and the Falcons passing attack in a shootout more than I do Mitch Trubisky and the Bears.
Yeah, now my only question here, do the Falcons even want to win? Because they didn't seem to want to win against the Dallas Cowboys. So that also just does some mental warfare on me. I like the pick, though. I think if Julio Jones misses, though, I would be a lot more concerned in taking this game.
I would as well. I already have the bet locked in, and I actually got it at -3 and not -3.5. It doesn't really make a difference, but I think I just like the matchup of the receivers too much in this game. And even if Julio's out there, even if he's not, I still think it's a mismatch with Gage and Ridley, but it's a lot more of a mismatch, obviously, if Julio's playing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. The Falcons just, to me, seem like that kind of team who I feel like are going to win every single week and just will inevitably win like four games that you have no idea which one it's going to be. But I do like them to beat the Bears here. I don't like the Bears at all. The Bears are such a fraudulent team. They should have lost to the Lions week 1. I don't know how fucking DeAndre Swift dropped that ball. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and believe in you here. And I probably will take the Falcons as well, because I love the Falcons, the Dirty Birds. So now into the locks of the week. So we're going to go in with Lucas's lock. He's got the Patriots over the Las Vegas Raiders, -5.5. This is a lock. Now, the Raiders, obviously last week, beat the Saints. The Patriots lose to Russell Wilson in a game they could have won. Obviously, they're on like the 2-yard line. They try to bull rush Cam. Maybe it'll work 7 times in a row. Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't work for the seventh time in a row in that game, but it doesn't. The Seattle defense plays very strong. Now, the Patriots here, they're going to roll the Raiders. The Raiders are going to be on their high horse. They're going to be ready. They're going to be thinking, oh, man, we just beat the Saints. We're going to go over there and murder Cam Newton. We're going to murder Bill Belichick. And then Bill Belichick is going to slap them up. If you guys saw the video of Bill Belichick in the press conference, the guy's wearing a shirt with like 7 holes in it, and he's going to shoot. It's because he's going to shoot Derek Carr 7 times in the back of the head in this game. I think that Cam Newton is going to roll them. I think we see Cam Newton ball out again. Now, I hate the Patriots. I never want to bet them, but to me, this just seems way too good to be true. The line -5.5. Because the Raiders played good, obviously, that's why. But I just think the Patriots play much better than the Raiders, and I agree with Lucas on his lock here. What are you thinking here about the Patriots versus the Raiders?
Yeah, like I think the reason that the Las Vegas Raiders were able to beat the Saints is, one, because they had like a lot of emotions charged up because it was the new opening of their stadium and stuff, and they're like really excited for this game. 2, I think the Saints are a bit worse of a team than we all thought they are, especially on offense. So I think that's part of it as well. And I think the Patriots are a better team than people think, because I think the Seahawks are going to win 13, 14 games this year. And the fact that they brought them down to the wire means that the Patriots are probably going to win 10 or 11 games this year. And I think 5.5 is a good line. I expect it to be about a touchdown game. I think the Raiders they're no slouch. I think they're probably like an 8-9 win team, but I think the Patriots are the better team here. And I think they cover by like a touchdown or so. So I agree with Lucas on this one too.
Yeah, I definitely agree as well. My pick of my lock here, we talked about it before, so we don't have to go super in depth again, but I'm going with the Titans here over the Vikings -2.5. We talked about it earlier. Kirk Cousins just looks like a schlub. I feel like the only way that the Vikings could technically even cover the spread is if Dalvin Cook ran for 5 touchdowns, which is something that you can't take away because they just seem to run the ball a million times. It seems like Adam Thielen does nothing in fantasy football the whole first half of the game. And then the second half, they're just like, fuck it, let Kirk Cousins throw the ball. He throws 3 picks, but he throws the ball 7,000 times to Adam Thielen. But with that said, I like the Titans here to beat the Vikings. The Titans defense is so good. The Vikings defense is the opposite of so good, in my opinion. So I like the Titans here to beat the Vikings. I think Derrick Henry just runs all over them. I think this game doesn't even end up close. I think this is a touchdown game. The Titans slap 7 straight on the Vikings' ass, -2.5, lock of the week.
Yeah, I agree with you, except for like the part of Derrick Henry running all over them. I think this is a Tannehill game. I think he throws all over them because that's the way that you beat the Vikings. With like, I think Corey Davis has probably a good game in this game. I think Jonnu Smith has a good game. You probably could even flex Adam Humphries just because the Vikings have absolutely no corners that can cover anyone. So I think Tannehill probably runs goes wild in this game. Has like a classic Tannehill stat line where he throws 26 times but has 5 touchdowns or something like that because he's just super efficient and everyone wants to yell regression, but it never happens. Anyway. Yeah. On to my lock of the week. I have we already talked about this game as well, but I think the over of 46.5 in the Bengals-Eagles game is a lock because, as I mentioned from the Eagles side of things, I think Miles Sanders goes absolutely ham-bone in this game, and I think there's no chance that the Bengals can stop him. You saw what Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb did to the Bengals run defense. I think the Bengals pass defense is terrible too. So even if Carson Wentz can get on track in this game, maybe find Deshaun Jackson or something for a deep ball in this one, I think the Eagles can easily put up 30 points in this game. And I think the same goes for the Bengals, to be honest. If it's in garbage time, whatever. Like, the Eagles defense ranks 32nd in DVOA per, I believe, Football Outsiders, and 31 in yards per play. I saw Greg Rosenthal from NFL Network tweet that out. And basically, like, the Bengals have looked competent on offense. Joe Burrow can run the ball when he's in trouble. AJ Green is looking old, but he still gets targets. Like, Tyler Boyd is still solid. Hopefully John Ross is able to actually make an impact. Like, I think T. Higgins is looking pretty good as a rookie. Like, they have weapons, and the Eagles don't have anyone can cover them, to be honest. Like, Darius Slay will probably lock down AJ Green, but the rest of the Bengals receiving options should play well in this game, including Drew Sample. If he's on your waiver wire, go pick him up because I think he's going to be good for the rest of the year. I just like the fact that this is going to be a high scoring game. I don't really know who's going to win it, but I think high scoring is definitely the likely outcome.
Yeah, no, this game to me also screams Joe Mixon breakout game. It's not going to happen, though. It just isn't going to happen, but I hope it does. Now, the thing with this game that also I really like, just like you were talking about, it's good that they're going to lock down A.J. Green because A.J. Green, when he gets the ball thrown to him, he doesn't catch it anyways. So just put the best corner on him, lock him down, let Tyler Boyd run wild, and let the other wide receivers run wild.
This might be the T. Higgins breakout game, honestly. Like, I think we're going to start looking at T. Higgins like very highly. Like, at the second half of the year, I could see him being like what AJ Brown did the second half of the year, or like what Debo Samuel did the second half of the year. Like T. Higgins is a good receiver, and he's in a great system to accentuate like the things that he does well. And I think if AJ Green continues to look like he's in a retirement home, they're eventually going to be like, T. Higgins needs more playing time. T. Higgins needs more playing time, and he's already overtaken John Ross as a starting receiver. So,
Yeah,
I mean, in 3 wide sets, T. Higgins is a starter, and I think he's better than Auden Tate and John Ross already, and I think he's eventually going to take over AJ Green as the season progresses.
yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if discount Michael Thomas, that guy whose name is just Mike Thomas on the Bengals, scored like 2 touchdowns in this game. So, with that said, I agree with you here. So, our locks of the week, obviously, to note here, these are the biggest picks. Obviously, the picks we feel most confident in. Lucas, Patriots over Raiders, -5.5. I went with the Titans over the Vikings, -2.5. And Bush went with Bengals versus the Eagles over 46.5. Our lock rating, we are unreal. We have missed only... Last week, me and Tyler both hit. Lucas missed. And then week 1, me and Lucas both hit. So we are right now 4-1 in locks. So we're looking pretty good here. Oh, actually, never mind. We're 4-3 because fucking Scott took the Dolphins to cover versus the Patriots week 1. I was all in on it, but that was an L. So we're 4-3 here. Looking to improve here. Look to go 3-0 this week. I feel very confident in all of our picks. So before we get out of here, Bush, you can again shout your stuff out so that people can find you, because a lot of people actually like this show for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just a fun time, I guess. So maybe they're still here. So you can go ahead and list your stuff off here.
Yeah, if you're a betting degenerate, we have a DFS show every Saturday. We go through our favorite FanDuel picks, our favorite DraftKings picks. We talk about our locks of the week there. We talk about the best matchups to target, all that kind of good DFS stuff if you're looking to absolutely torch your money, like I did last night when I betted on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, but other than that, we're posting fantasy content just like Nick is here. We're doing the waiver wire stuff. We're doing start sits. We're doing matchup stuff, like all that kind of stuff is over at the Fantasy Stock Exchange. So go and check that out. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is, as I mentioned. I'm betting a $25 parlay on my Tampa Bay pick, my Giants pick, my Rams pick, and my lock of the week. And I parlayed them all together. $25 bet pays out $503 if it happens. So you're going to see me get really excited on Twitter if that happens.
Yeah, no, I'd take all of my picks as well. I hate, honestly, people who they talk about the picks and then they don't take them. It just, to me, just makes it just completely
Nah,
fraudulent.
you got to put some money down if you're going to tell people to put money down.
Exactly. I completely agree. It's like in fantasy when I tell everyone to draft Joe Mixon and they're mad that I told them to draft Joe Mixon, but I have Joe Mixon too. So I wasn't lying to you. So
Nice.
Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys had a very fun time. I hope that we hit all of our locks here. I hope that we smack up Snacks and Animal this week, because we have fallen to 3-1. They're 4-0 because apparently they're super sharp like that. So thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you guys check out Bush. Make sure you check out the Fantasy Stock Exchange. All of those links are down below in the description. Check me out on Twitter also, because I gave a bunch of solid picks on Thursday night. The Dolphins to win. They won the fucking game. The Dolphins over first half. The team over, or the game over first half, that hit as well. The Robinson touchdown hit. The only thing I missed on was Keelan Cole over 50 yards. He might have actually gotten it in garbage time had he not have gotten hurt. So, I'll take the victory lap on that one. So thank you guys all for watching. And I will see you guys, what's today? Today's Saturday night. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning with a live stream. I love you all, and have a great rest of your guys' day. Good boy.